Certified fraud examiners need to develop interviewing skills as it is a vital part of a fraud investigation. In this study unit, we will discuss the theory behind interviews and its application from a fraud examination perspective. An interview is a question and answer session designed to elicit information. It is different from an ordinary conversation in that an interview is structured, not free form, and is designed for a purpose. An interview might consist of only one question or a series of questions. To effectively prepare for the interview phase of an investigation, the fraud examiner must first develop a plan. The fraud examiner should contemplate what the interview is intended to accomplish and state an objective. They should also review the case file to ensure that the plan is not devoid of important information that might have been overlooked. Prior to the commencement of an interview, there should be a clear concept of what information might be retrieved from each of the potential witnesses, as well as the best strategy to go about it. Generally, the most vulnerable witnesses should be interviewed before the reluctant witnesses. This will provide the fraud examiner with a broader base of information that can be used to formulate later questions. When possible, the interview should be held in a venue where the subject will feel comfortable and secure. Although it is not recommended that the interview take place in an environment that is particularly familiar to the subject, such as the interviewee's home or office. The most appropriate member of the investigative team should be selected to conduct the interview based on the specifics of the interview. Rather than devise an exhaustive list of questions to ask the subject, the fraud examiner should instead formulate a brief outline of key points to discuss during the interview. Additionally, an investigator should consider which evidentiary documents to bring into the interview, if any, as well as which documents they might seek from the subject. So, in order to sum this up, preparing for interviews include developing a plan and determining the objective of the interview, review the case file and facts, determine the order of the interviews, determine the possible information outcome and strategy, select the venue, select interview team, prepare key interview points, and consider evidentiary documents. Successful interviews share common characteristics. The interview should be of sufficient length and depth to uncover relevant facts. Most interviewers tend to get too little rather than too much information. A successful interview includes all pertinent information and exclude irrelevant information. From the outset, it should be determined what information is relevant and that information should be sought. Extra or useless facts tend to complicate the gathering and analysis of the information. The interview should be conducted as closely as possible to the event in question. With the passage of time, the memories of potential witnesses and respondents can become faulty and critical details can be distorted or forgotten. Additionally, a good interview is objective in scope. Therefore, interviews should be aimed at gathering information in a fair and impartial manner. So, to wrap this up, we can say that successful interviews has sufficient length and depth. It includes all pertinent information and excludes irrelevant information, and it is conducted as closely as possible to the event in question, and it has a good interview objectives and scope. All effective interviewers share certain characteristics. Above all, they are amiable and possess strong interpersonal skills. Successful interviewers are the type of people with whom others are willing to share information. The effective interviewers does not interrupt the respondent with unnecessary questions. In most interviews, pertinent information results from volunteered information, as opposed to responses to a specific question. The effective interviewers does not interrupt the respondent with unnecessary questions. In most interviews, pertinent information results from volunteered information, as opposed to responses to a specific question. The effective interviewer displays interest in their subject and in what is being said. Additionally, effective interviewers demonstrate fairness. The respondent must understand that the interviewer is attempting to obtain only the relevant facts and is not targeting them unfairly. This can be best done by phrasing questions in a non-accusatory manner. Effective interviewers work informally. Little is accomplished when the interviewer is formal or attempts to impress the respondent with their authority. Information gathering is best accomplished by approaching the interview in an informal and low-key fashion. An interviewer should lack bias. If the respondent perceives that the interviewer is biased or is attempting to confirm foregone conclusions, the respondent will be less likely to cooperate. Accordingly, the interviewer should make every effort to demonstrate impartiality. Furthermore, the effective interviewers project professionalism. Professionalism in the interview often involves a state of mind and a commitment to excellence. The interviewers should be on time, be professionally attired, and be fair in dealing with the respondent. Finally, effective interviewers present no threats. It is vital that the interviewer not appear to be a threat to the interviewee. If people perceive that they are the target of an inquiry, they will be less likely to cooperate. So to wrap this up, effective interviewer has strong interpersonal skills, do not interrupt the respondent with unnecessary questions, displays interest in the subject and in what is being said, demonstrates fairness by phrasing questions in a non-accusatory manner, work informally by approaching the interview in an informal and low-key fashion, lacks bias, makes every effort to demonstrate impartiality, has professionalism, and presents no threats.